What's up, ladies and gentlemen on the internet? My name is Jacoby. This is Big Nasty Productions.
How's it going?
And we're bringing you another review today of True Detective, HBO's latest series that wrapped, I believe, last Sunday. And between the two of us, we watched it in an average of 24 hours, give or take. I just marathoned through that motherfucker. So, we're going to review it, and I don't even know where to start on this. Want to give a shot at explaining the story? If you...
Well, essentially, it seems as though it's two detectives in the present that are interviewing, or well, trying to interview Woody Harrelson's character and his ex-wife's character, to talk about, well, as well, what's his face, Matthew McConaughey's character, because they want to find out whether or not he's part of these people that have been dying that have been around the case, kind of, is what it sort of seems, because he just disappeared. And then, so yeah, you just see glimpses. You go back and you see glimpses of what their story is and what actually happened in certain points, because there is parts that they lie about. But yeah, it's, and then eventually it all comes full circle to where Matthew McConaughey is still on the trail of this serial killer. Sorry, yeah, it all revolves around the serial killer too, because for some reason Matthew McConaughey is the only one who knew what the fuck was going on. Yeah,
and gives a shit.
yeah,
Yeah, that's revealed later on.
that's my
I'm gonna
fucking
go ahead and
terrible
say
attempt
this.
at
Yeah.
explain it.
Well, it's a really complicated story, and it's deep, but I'm going to preference this review right here. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's one of those kind of shows. Don't bother getting it spoiled for yourself, because then you just miss out on a good show. What the fuck's the point? What the fuck is the point of that? It's like if you watch the last episode of Breaking Bad, before you watch, the first episode. Don't do that. But yeah, so we're gonna spoil the crap out of it. But yeah, it's basically the story of the investigation of a grisly cult-esque,
Yeah, very strange murder.
a very strange murder, or a series of murders it turns out to be. But
Yeah.
and the two detectives and the journey they go through together to try and solve this murder, and it spans a good
17 years, I think it is.
yeah, so like around 17 years it spans. Like it's a whole story, like a good portion of these guys' lives. I fucking loved this show.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was another piece of great TV that's come out in the 2000s, ever since stuff like The Shield and well, Breaking Bad, of course. This and
Yep. Even fucking, I know you don't like it, but House of Cards. It's
yeah, House of Cards. Yeah.
Yeah, HBO is always known to be king of television, and this is just kind of proving it again.
Well, I mean, hell, HBO is the one who aired the Spawn cartoon in the 90s, right?
Well, they've had shows about,
And I think early 2000s.
Yeah, they've had shows about prisons,
Oz.
mobs. They're not afraid to explore this kind of territory too, I guess. It's very well written. It all comes together in a nice way. I know some people I've talked to thought it was a little anticlimactic at the end, but we'll get to that at some point, I'm sure.
Well, fucking Sloth from the Goonies does get killed.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
he does get his head blown off.
I think people thought it was going to be darker, the ending. Like it was going to involve like a giant cult, and there was gonna be a sacrifice of some
Well, yeah,
sort.
considering, yeah, it turned out essentially it was just this. Well, they even say, because since they, sort of thought it was just this guy, Matthew McConaughey says at the end, there's no way that this is just all it is. And Woody Harrelson says to him, there's no way that we can
get all
everybody.
This is our guy, and we got this guy. But yeah, the Tuttle guy seemed to be probably the center of the whole thing. But
the one that's the senator or governor.
Yeah, I think it was the Tuttle dude. Is that his fucking name?
Well, there's two of them. The one was the senator, and the other one was the preacher in the beginning. But he ended up dying.
Yeah.
Before the president, by accidental overdose or something like that. And so they're saying that someone probably got to him.
McConaughey's character claims, we should just call him Rusty, but
Rusty.
He claims he didn't kill Tuttle, but I don't know. They never really go into that too much.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people were thinking these two guys are gonna take down the fucking satanic cult, and you know, one of them's probably gonna get killed in epic fashion. But it's not that kind of story. This is a, you know, a crime mystery, a dark ass crime mystery. It's not.
Yeah, it's essentially, like you said, it's essentially just pretty much about the two detectives over the course of the 17 years, while Matthew McConaughey is pretty much the only one still technically hunting the serial killer, because he knows that it's all connected. And
yeah, Matthew McConaughey is the he's fucking Indiana Jones in this particular tale.
And there's some pretty things that he shows Woody Harrelson when he does recruit him to help him out that seem like they would have been pretty obvious that they were related crimes.
Oh yeah, there was well, that's the what they
which
got
I just found that weird, because it's like,
it's what
how
they
do you
got
not see this?
so they got so frustrated at, is because there was all these signs that this is some big ass shit. It's not, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, of course, McConaughey gets dismissed from the force because apparently there's some big conspiracy going on there, but it doesn't. That doesn't get completely answered. But
well, he gets suspended and then he quits.
Yeah, and then they go vigilante on the motherfucker, and it's it is a pretty epic tale. Like, this is a pretty epic detective story, and I haven't seen one of these in a long time. Like a good partner detective kind of story.
Well, no, it's almost like a TV series, mini series version of an LA Confidential, but in a different sort of aspect. Maybe even like a Black Dahlia, but again in a different time period. And
there's hints of like X-Files. There's hints of like X-Files and stuff in here too, and even, you know, horror movies like can't think. I mean, you're the horror guys. What's the?
If there's like the fucking Wicker Man, which is kind of fucked up. It's a terrible movie, but I mean that's what I kind of got a kick, because that's what I kind of took out of those weird little triangle things that they're doing, because that's very similar to what they have in the Wicker Man.
This cult, or what have you, or the killers, whatever you want to say, they love these.
Except he's a little person.
Yeah, it's like a little stick figures, and big fan of sticks. I can't remember what that's called. Like, I watched a behind the scenes thing.
Even Blair Witch Project had a bunch of sticks.
Yeah, the stick triangles. There's a name for them. I can't remember what it is, but you know, whatever.
We'll call them stick triangles.
We'll call them, stick people. Like what Ben Stiller's character in Tropic Thunder has, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
Only really creepy, fucked up versions of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of horror movies that kind of relate to cult-ish sacrifices, that kind of stuff. And this is just a real dark look at, you know, that
this is the more occult version. This isn't like The Following, where The Following basically is a cult of serial killers who are just pretty much serial killers that just stab people and whatnot and what have you. This is more strange and a little bizarre. There's a weird ritual about it. Yeah,
it is very weird and very dark, but like the crime and what happens with that. What was I gonna say? It doesn't go supernatural. Yeah, there's nothing. You know, it stays pretty grounded on reality, which I like. You know, there's no magic or voodoo per se. There's just a lot of
tweakers who apparently think that fucking.
There's a lot of meth fucking people that just see God and like put baby.
I didn't understand that. I thought that was weird.
Put infants in microwaves and shit.
Yeah, like, that was fucked up.
There's a lot of bad stuff in this show. There's a lot of violence against children and women. But
when Woody Harrelson's asked about why he quit the force by Rusty, which is Matthew McConaughey's character, he tells him that the one call that he went on there was it was a tweaker's house, and to dry their baby off, they had put it in the microwave. It shows them open the microwave and you see kind of chunks of, you know, bloody kind of mess.
Yeah,
which is pretty disturbing, even though it's disturbing. You know,
I've seen a lot of stuff, and that was I still looked away at that scene.
That was pretty fucked up.
It's not like a gore fest. It's not like in your face the whole series by any means, but there's a lot of dark imagery and a lot of like you see a lot of people murdered in a lot of similar ways.
Wow.
A lot of sick ass ways. Trying to find the name of like what the religion or what have you that this is kind of based off of. Oh, fun fact: every episode was directed and written by the same guys.
Nice.
It's awesome. Yeah, Marty Courier de Mardi Gras, Santeria, the Voodoo. Yeah, it's kind of
Santeria.
Santeria. I don't practice Santeria, but sublime reference. Yeah,
Oh,
a bunch
terrible.
of
You're
yeah,
awful.
bunch of dark ass religious themes. A lot of
That end up leading to. That's the one thing I thought was a little strange. I got to interject. I'm sorry,
Yep,
but that one thing I thought
I'm
was a little
rambling.
strange is the fact that it all leads up to basically an inbred, half retarded dude who I don't know, somehow pulls off these like mastermind schemes of taking dozens and dozens of children over years
Hmm.
with his father. I think they said his father did it before him, and then
Yeah, I
he
don't
became part
think.
of it.
I was gonna say I don't think he's the main culprit the whole time, but definitely in the later half of the story.
Yeah.
Because I
There
definitely
is
think
some
his
very graphic imagery too in that where you see him pretty much finger banging his half sister. Is that what
yeah,
they
they
said?
say his half sister. They probably share blood, is what
Mm.
they say.
But she gets
Um,
upset because he won't make flowers on her.
yeah, that made me uncomfortable for sure. There's yeah,
Make flowers.
there's an episode of the
Gross.
X Files called the Peacock Family. I don't know if that rings a bell with you, but it's kind of about an inbred, crazy, backwoods family as
Oh, there's
well.
been all sorts of stories about it like that. I mean,
Oh
even
yeah,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is
Texas
essentially like
Chainsaw
that.
Massacre, of course. There's and whatever the one with the Hills Have Eyes was a little
Mm.
bit like that too.
No, the Hills Have Eyes is mutated freaks, but
Yeah, sip. Um, but yeah, this isn't supernatural. This is just a really
mm.
fucked up breed of, or a really fucked up family. It looks like, anyways, and a lot of controversy behind it. That's not even the main focus of the show, really. It's more
That's
about
the thing I find strange is that's the back burner. The show
yeah,
pretty much revolves around the relationship between McConaughey and Woody Harrelson,
these
and then
insane murders
uh,
are just what ties these two characters together, and
not to mention Woody Harrelson's wife.
Woody Harrelson's wife. She gets between them a little bit, but yeah, it's mainly about their relationship, and you see it like from. I think that was their first case together, the first murder with the deer antlers
Yeah,
and
with the
shit.
antlers. Yeah.
Yeah, you get to see them from like their first ever case all the way to like their definite retirement. But yeah, so you get to see an entire career basically, and it's awesome. I thought what they did rather well was the aging and like the difference in time. They made that very believable. Which
Yeah, same with how they did the daughters. If you noticed, even in the one episode, I believe it's episode six, or yeah, I think it's six, where the daughters go from being about, I don't know, 7 or 8 to being like 13 and or
mm,
12 and 14.
yeah, they everyone ages really well, and you can't really see the seams when you do that. And that doesn't always work when you see people age
Yeah.
drastically. Trying to think of an example, but I can't. The Place Beyond the Pines, if you've ever seen that, did that really poorly. Um,
Well, and
Otherwise, a
also the
good
young
movie.
psycho girl from The Walking Dead is his daughter at one point in this.
Hmm. You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can jump into characters because it is all about Rusty and what's his face? Why am I blanking on his name? Oh, Marty. Yeah, Marty and Rust.
Marty Hart.
Marty Hart and Russ Cole. Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson are on TV. Isn't that awesome? That they're doing television shows. I love that
That's
show.
fantastic.
Yeah. You want to kick it off with some character shit? McConaughey? What do you think of his pretty dark transformation throughout the show?
I thought he did an awesome job of playing like a scumbag for
Mm.
the majority of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, he wasn't really a scumbag, but
I don't know about that. But yeah, I think he did a good job of playing like kind of like that just arrogant prick who doesn't really listen to anybody or relate to
mm,
anybody at all. It
yeah, I
seems he
mean,
seems to have very I can relate to him because of the fact that he seems to have these gorgeous pessimistic views that everybody just seems to get just stunned by. because he's in the fucking, Bible Belt, rural fucking Louisiana.
Yeah, they used another thing. They used the setting of Louisiana really well. I thought definitely feels like
Too many things
a
are using
Louisiana tale.
Louisiana too much.
What's that?
Too many things are using Louisiana, though. It's too much.
What
It's
do you
starting to
think?
get a
What
little
else is
much.
using Louisiana?
True Blood set in Louisiana. Justified set in
Oh
Louisiana.
yeah, fair enough. I don't really watch. I'm not caught up on either of those shows. But
I'm just saying.
I feel you.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. My bad. Justified takes place in just for a certain part in Louisiana. It's
Oh
mostly in
yeah, yeah.
Kansas.
Reminds me of how Breaking Bad used wherever New Mexico or Albuquerque or wherever the fuck it was. They used the landscape and the locale very well, I thought. But yeah, I don't know where we're Mr.
My
Mr.
bad.
McConaughey. Sorry, we get off topic a little bit. Good old Rusty Rust. He's a pretty hardcore dude. He's a pretty I don't know. Who would you compare him to? Like what other detectives from
I would say he's a good version of what Keanu Reeves' character was supposed to be in Street Kings.
All right, there you go. Yeah, he's overall he's a good guy, but he doesn't like rules and shit. Yeah, they don't so much apply to him. He's kind of
No.
gonna do his own thing. He's just really distant. He has the 1,000-yard stare you get from like Vietnam. Um, was he in Vietnam? Was his character? Did his character fight? I don't think so.
McConaughey?
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't
no.
think he fought in Vietnam. His dad was a survivalist, he says, and when he
Oh,
lived
that's
in
right.
Alaska.
Yeah, I was trying to
And,
think of how he knew how to track people and disarm traps and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think the best person in the show is, I believe her name is Alexandra I don't even know how to say it. Daddario? Daddario? Huh?
Alexandria
Sure. Either way, she's
Daddario.
the incredibly gorgeous court stenographer, which I think her name is Lisa or something like that.
Mm-hmm,
But the one that Woody Harrelson's character is first cheating on his wife with, who is incredibly gorgeous and has the tits of an angel.
The tits of an angel. You heard it here, folks. Sign up for HBO Go. See the tits of an angel. Yeah.
Well, nice bumps in this show too. For
I like
chicks,
all
too. It's
the.
ridiculous.
There's not a lot of female heavy parts in this movie, but all the actresses here were A, beautiful, and B, held their own in their role excellently.
Especially the wife, the one that played
Michelle
Monaghan.
Yeah, she is a damn fine actress, if I don't say so myself. And I'm talking about her skills. Oh yeah, Mission Impossible 3. That's right, I forgot about that. Damn. Yeah, every actor in this is great. It's not, there's not a bajillion characters, but there is a few. There's a decent handful, and they're all handled really well. I even like the two detectives that was interviewing McConaughey and Woody Harrelson's character over.
Yeah, the younger detectives.
Yeah, the younger detectives, the rookies, even though they weren't really rookies, but. Yeah, I thought everyone was handled well.
Well, I liked a lot of the double features, like how it did where they passed Buddy on the lawnmower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a straight up mystery thriller. Like, it's very tense at times, and I like that. I haven't seen something that well done in the the noir crime kind of genre in a long time.
True crime, I guess, but not really.
Yeah, the True Detective. I think that's why it's called True Detective, is because it's like an epic version of. A detective novel, basically.
And at one point, Woody Harrelson even says he wants to write a true crime novel on it. Does he not?
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's how he gets the files.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he says he's gonna write
all the cases.
Write a story about the case, and really he's just doing vigilante missions.
Vigilante justice.
Yes. Oh, they lay down the vigilante backwoods justice faux show.
Yeah. Sloth gets his head blown off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what his character's name is. I don't know if it's actually ever said. So I just thought he was a big dumb retard. So I'm just gonna call him Sloth.
Sloth, sure. Let me see if I can find him. Lawnmower guy.
The Lawnmower Man.
Hey, kitty.
That was a terrible movie. The
Lawnmower Man. I didn't see that. But yeah, we might have just as we said, spoiler alert, the killer turns out to be the Lawnmower guy. Dun dun dun. And that's actually way more creepy than you think it is, because he is a...
I don't know who the actor is, but he does do an awesome job of being incredibly creepy.
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck his name is.
Like
of
the
the
part where he's
show.
speaking in the part where he's speaking with a British accent was very strange, but done
Oh yeah,
incredibly
because
well, I
they
thought.
only
And all of a sudden, he speaks like a
yeah.
really
I wish we got more time with him though, because he was a sick,
kind of like
twisted.
sloth.
Yeah, he was a sick, twisted serial killer, kind of like a John Doe from Seven or something like that. Like he was a meticulous bastard, or at least his family was like
Yeah,
this
he
cult
seems like
thing.
he's kind of like this. He almost seems like the like from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where he's kind of like the big idiot. You know, the kind of
Hmm.
what do they call him in it? I don't think they actually call him retarded, but I'm pretty sure they say he's dumbstruck or something like that.
Dumbstruck, yeah. Yeah, he's a thick-headed individual. He just happens to have some interesting morals and values, we'll say. Um, he's quite the character. Yeah, but you don't spend too much time with him. You spend a lot of time looking at other, less than reputable people, because this is a crime thriller, and they do investigate a lot of people about this crime, and
Yeah.
you meet some interesting fucking people. I enjoyed it. Um, yeah, fuck, acting was all around superb.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. I would say that.
I think we're seeing like the return of the miniseries, dude, because this is
Well,
gonna be a one-off thing, right?
they're doing another one, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken, but it's going
Yeah,
to be two
there's
different detectives.
yeah, and I guess another
Hmm.
director too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's seeming like somebody else is getting a shot at a
Hmm.
whole new, whole new, shot at it. Oh, it says
That'll be interesting.
Park Chan Wook is up for director, but I don't know how true that is. That would be fucking awesome. If you don't know who he is, he did the Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance and Old Boy and all those films.
Yeah, I know he did Old Boy. I don't think I've seen actually any of his others. But,
Yeah, there's Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance and Sympathy for Lady Vengeance that are both, decent
hmm.
revenge stories. Yeah, but True Detective. Anywho, I guess yeah, they're drop. A lot of people want another season, but it's not gonna happen. This is
Like
just
another season with McConaughey
yeah,
and
yeah, that's what I
Harrelson.
mean.
Hmm.
But I guess it's still not officially renewed for season two yet,
Oh, okay.
um, even though I'm thinking it did very well for itself. I keep
But
hearing.
they're trying to follow in an American Horror Story sort of pattern.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess new director, completely new story, just like the same writer, the same kind of vibe, like a detective story still, but
Okay.
in another setting. Yeah, and I'm interested to see it because they'll probably get some big ass names if they landed McConaughey and Harrelson for this. I'd like to.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive considering they have this year's best actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the
At
best
least as far
actor
as
of
the
the year is
Oscars
in.
go.
Yeah. Woody Harrelson's pretty fine actor too sometimes, and to land them both in leading roles is pretty epic. Good for you, HBO. Good shit. I like it. And I don't think this is like such a conclusive story. I don't really think another season is needed. It's just this is it. It's an 8 hour long movie basically.
Yeah, I could see it as that. I would prefer it as that. I don't know how you could extend the season unless it was basically just them continuing to try and climb up the ladder of wherever this conspiracy of
Hmm.
occult child sacrifices comes
Yeah.
from.
What I would
But
be
even then, that would
interested,
get very tiresome, I feel.
yeah, even I would be interested with the next season to do like another detective working on a case that's connected to this satanic cult. I
That
would
would be interesting.
because I have a morbid sense of interest. I kind of want to know more about this satanic cult and like what they're all about because it doesn't go too far into that. It's a
Yeah,
lot
no.
of it's hinted at a lot in very creepy fashion, like the videotape. Oh man, the videotape.
Yeah. And then nobody can watch it. Everybody screams when they're watching it. So, like,
Hmm.
well, apparently, except for Matthew McConaughey,
Yeah,
who says he
because
watched it all the way through just to make sure they didn't, to see if
take
they
off
take
their
off their
masks.
masks.
Yeah. Basically, McConaughey at one, we're just gonna call him McConaughey, I guess. Rust. He gets a piece of highly incriminating evidence of a videotaped sacrifice of this girl who was just claimed to be, ran away with her dad or something like that. Wasn't even labeled missing, I don't think. But yeah, they caught it on videotape, and every time anyone watched it, it was they freaked the fuck out. You can't really see what's on the videotape, but it looks pretty disturbing. Like,
Yeah, it looked almost as if it was some sort of ritual sacrifice.
Yeah,
essentially,
of a young girl or a child of some
with
sort.
some
Like,
sort of sexual nature also attached to that as well.
yeah, I mean, yeah, fucking Satanism and sacrifice
Fucking
aren't
straight shit.
yeah. If Satanism and sacrifice aren't bad enough, add raping on top of that, and you got just the fucking a high class of human right there.
Hail
Um,
Satan!
Hail Satan. But yeah, you're definitely rooting for these guys the whole time. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm like, find these fucking guys and put a bullet in their head. And they do. Well, two of them, anyways. They actually a few more people get shot, but
On a side note, though, the one thing I didn't understand is the weird sort of side story of, of just at least Woody Harrelson and Michelle Monaghan's characters, where their daughter, they have two young daughters, so you see them kind of grow up essentially. And at the one point, they find the one daughter's drawings that are all of naked
asexual
dudes,
nature.
and yeah,
Yeah.
this and that. And then as she gets older, he goes and picks her up and drives her home and says to go talk to your mother or something like that. It turns out that he just picked her up. She had been caught in a car with basically fucking two dudes,
Hmm.
I would just think.
Yeah, it was kind of creepy.
And I didn't understand that whole side thing just because of the whole sexual nature
It
outside of
was
that. It seems like a little off-putting.
it was a little off-putting, and it didn't really go anywhere, to be perfectly honest. But I don't know. It was a pretty layered story. There wasn't too many side stories that didn't tie back in, except for the one with the daughter a little bit. But
Yeah.
I guess like
Well, they pretty much just forgave him this when he was in the hospital, it seemed.
hmm yeah. If
Which,
you're, I mean, if you're a pervert, maybe your daughter's gonna be a pervert. I don't know.
yeah, I guess.
Maybe is that how it works? I don't know.
That's karma biting you in the ass.
Yeah, no, well, yeah. Woody Harrelson gets a shitload of karma in his life, that's for sure. He, yeah, he's a bit on the womanizer side, Mr. Harrelson, to the point of showing up drunk to his like, oh man, when he shows up hammered and just throws that guy into the closet.
Yeah. I thought it was
I'm like,
hilarious though that he does that, and then she freaks out. Then he just tells her he's just gonna basically leave her alone. And her answer to that is to call us. That's when she calls his wife and tells her about the affair. Not before that, when he wanted
mm,
to leave her alone. I was like, Jesus,
yeah,
that is one crazy broad.
yeah, man. If you're married and don't have affairs, like you kind of you give up affairs when you get married. I think that should be the rule.
That's the rule.
I'm just kidding. I don't condone infidelity whatsoever.
That's hilarious.
I don't condone it. Yeah, bit of a womanizer, Mr. Harrelson, and Woody Harrelson's McConaughey's character Rusty is a bit of a, I don't even know what you'd want
He's
to
almost
call him,
just
like
kind of a strange introvert. Just kind of
he's
keeps
very,
to him.
he starts off as a strange introvert and like goes on to like full on government conspiracy.
Well, and there's a very small patch where he's dating one of Woody Harrelson's character's wife's friends,
Hmm.
and they don't really go into much detail about that, even though they say that it's several years. I think
Yeah.
3 years or so.
Yeah, and that proves how important that kind of stuff is to McConaughey's character.
Hmm.
Just, what does he say? What's his word on marriage? Like men and women are just here to create children or something like
Yeah, he
that.
says it's not supposed to work between men and women. They're just supposed to make kids, and
Yeah,
that's that.
McConaughey has a lot of like hippie ass introverted like
Well,
inspiring
pessimistic
advice.
or
Yeah, pessimistic. Yeah, for sure. Some of his dialogue, like a good fucking chunk of the show, is just him talking. Like both of these characters just talking, describing events,
yeah.
and McConaughey kills it. Just kills it. He,
Yeah, him and Woody Harrelson both do a fantastic job.
yeah, the years have not been kind to Rusty by the end. He has smoked too many camels and drank too many Lone Stars. Oh, he
I did
doesn't.
like that he gets the. I did like that he makes the cops get him a case of beer, or well, 6-pack of beer.
Yeah, I love the very
When they
first.
ask him why, he's like, "Oh well, I drink at noon on Thursdays because Thursday's my day off." He's like, "You're not gonna fuck that up."
Yeah, yeah. I love how he just goes to light up a smoke. Yeah, we can't do that in here. It's 2012. It's like, you guys are fucking assholes, seriously. I'm, in the words of Ricky from Trailer Park Boys, if I can't smoke and swear, I'm fucked. And that was also true with McConaughey's character, Rusty. Uh,
He does smoke quite a bit in this show.
He is
I
a
think
rugged motherfucker in this show.
in almost in the majority of the show that he's actually featured in, he's probably smoking.
Smokes a shitload of Camels, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's also down with the, some drugs here and there. Maybe some Quaaludes, but meth off some biker's fucking hand.
Yep. Some cocaine. The cocaine.
Yeah, don't do drugs off bikers' hands, kids. Don't ever do that. That's bad.
The crystal meth.
Yeah, I guess we could talk about that scene. The epic
7 minute.
4 minute, or it's like 7.5 minute shot in episode 4, I believe, the end of episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4.
And it is like probably the highlight of the show, like action wise anyways, and it is awesome.
Yeah.
It is some cinematic gold.
Yeah, it's absolutely
kudos to them. Yeah.
It's absolutely insane to fathom how they were able to pull that off with such impeccable timing and with such great and fluid movement and focus without, ever. Because I believe it's in the 7.5 minutes. I believe is one shot.
Yeah,
that's one long take, isn't it?
That's what I read about it because I looked it up because there's ways that you can digitally cheat long shots.
Well, yeah, it did not. To me, it didn't look like there was any.
No, I looked it up and they're just like, yeah, we had those we had moments where we could have cheated just in case we needed to, but it ended up working all in one take.
It looks amazing.
I'm like, well done. And you also do that so you can use the best pieces of each, It's a thing, but they pulled it off amazing. They're it goes through a house. There's a big tense moment in the house. Goes across the street to another house, out in the yard, over a fence. It is one fucking kick-ass shot. Hats off to the director and the cinematographer on that one.
And the cameraman. The cameramen definitely deserve kudos on this show. Mm-hmm. They do great. They do absolutely fantastic work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was well done. 1 second. Yeah, what's up, guys? Sorry about that. Where were we? Talking about True Detective.
We were just going over the gorgeous long shot, or sorry, the gorgeous one take that they did,
which is available.
Sorry, long take. Yeah, I'm fucking up my words here.
Fucking up my movie terms. I believe long take is what it's most commonly referred to.
Yeah.
Or just where it doesn't cut, basically, for an extended amount of time. And for those who don't know what it takes to pull off shots like that, not that I know, but we kind of have an understanding of it anyways. It's hard. It's really fucking hard to do shots like that. Even to get 30 seconds of dialogue is hard sometimes. So
yeah, even with the manpower and the amount of money that they would probably have for funding for this sort of stuff,
and the chops of the
it would still be hard with the timing and the movement, everything. It's just it's insane how they pulled this off.
It was the most gorgeous shot I've seen on TV, I think, ever.
Yeah, I think this is easily one of the best shows that's ever been on television right now.
I think so.
Especially cop shows. Personally, I always thought The Shield was one of the best cop shows ever made. I think this tops The Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it tops The Shield for sure. I also got into The Wire a little bit. Not a whole lot.
Yeah, I didn't mind The Wire.
The Wire was pretty good too, but this is definitely better. And it's not because of the story is all that more, perfect or intricate or anything. It's mostly because of Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. Because they're so goddamn good. I mean,
it plays out more like a movie. It's way more cinematic than lot of your typical cop shows, or where it's a different case every week, different whatever.
And because it's only on one case, they have their time to go through it step by step, and they're not felt rushed to the end of the story and see who's it gonna be. Because this was a weekly series. I mean, we just power through it in the last couple days, and because who's got time to wait for a week for the next episode to come out?
Binge watching.
Yeah. Yeah. HBO Go. It's good shit. I recommend it. Yeah, it's short and sweet, I guess, in terms of TV. But when you think about it like a movie, which is basically how we watched it, it's fucking just an epic crime drama masterpiece. It's very well done. A lot of themes of noir and shit. Cinematic gold.
Yeah, I found mostly with McConaughey's character, it seemed a lot more to take on the noir sort of aesthetic.
Oh yeah, I mean it's
as soon as you were with him and he's by himself, with the shit all over the
yeah, I
walls.
mean it's and just like his interviews with the other
And the
two
way he is,
detectives.
his character, like just the building of his character, how his character is,
Yeah, I mean
his outlook on the world.
yeah, that's the most classic noir there is, right? Interviewing the people in the police holding cell with the
Mm.
cigarettes, and it's classic. It's just a weird, fucked up take on it, and goddamn is it good.
And it
Goddamn
mixed
is
with
it
that
good.
strange little horror element.
Mm-hmm. There's an element of horror,
Mm.
and it doesn't really come until the very end, but
Right. No.
and it's more of a mystery most of the time. And you think it might be over for a split second when that abrupt ending to what was it, episode 3 or something like that, where they go to the meth lab and then shoot the one guy in the head. Or maybe that's episode 5. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
No,
no,
you're
that's episode. I think that's episode 3.
okay. Is it
Oh
episode
wait,
5? Maybe it takes place after the
I can't remember
that.
if I can't remember if it's before or
It
after
takes
the
place
bikers.
after Rusty's undercover shit, doesn't it? Because
Oh yeah, it does. That's where they go. Yeah,
that's how he finds out that that's the
yeah.
place.
I
Yeah.
apologize. I'm an idiot.
Okay, sorry, it took me a second. Episode 5. Yeah, you think they found like the killer, and there's gonna be some crazy, more crazy cultists are gonna come out of the woodwork or something, but
Well,
no.
because at the end of the one episode, you see the one guy who just turns out to be some grimy fucking meth cook. You
Hmm.
see him just walking around in his fucking skivvies, machete, and a gas mask.
Yeah. There is just a bunch of grimy ass people that they talk to that aren't the killer, but there's a few that are. That the big white dude with the noose tattoo around
Yeah,
his neck.
that's
I
the guy
got
that's walking around with the gas mask.
Yeah, that guy's hard fucking core, man. And you think there's gonna be some trial with him or something? No, Woody Harrelson just pops him in the head.
That's
Boom.
what happens when you fuck with kids.
Yeah. Basically, they find at this meth den of some sort, they find two young children, one of them dead, um, been being clearly have been abused with narcotics and sexually abused and all that shit. And Woody Harrelson just snaps. He's got children, so he just blasts this motherfucker in the side of the head.
Well, and even
Um,
as someone who doesn't have children, I'd even go on record saying that fucking if you are a child molester or hurt children, you
yeah,
deserve to have your balls cut off and jammed in your throat until you choke on them.
I couldn't agree more, and I will say 100% if I was in Woody's position right there, I would have done the same. Probably would have done the same. Even like Rusty comments, like it's just like, nah, man, it's fine. I'm glad to see you actually committing to something.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was hilarious.
Hmm. And then they had to. I thought that was one of the best sequences, if you will, of the whole show was how
The
they,
quick transition between the two timelines.
yeah, and how they're talking back and forth about what
Yeah,
happened at this meth den and how it all went down. Which they both lie about it, but they both have the same lie, and they're both rock solid on it because they're professionals. But basically, I guess they murdered these two guys, even though it's pretty easy to argue it was justified, but they still had to make it look like a shootout because,
well, the fat guy tried to run. I mean, come on now. If you're fat, you're going to try and run from the cops. You really think you're going to get away?
well, yeah, McConaughey was about to shoot him, and he just ran into one of his own crack-a-ass white trash hillbilly traps,
That's
or
what I mean. Like,
whatever
I
he
don't even
calls it.
understand why you wouldn't just wait for it.
Hmm. Did you forget that you wired live grenades all
That's
around
what
your?
I mean.
Yeah, that's a.
It's just straight towards it. Boom.
This is a bit off topic, but when they were sneaking up to the meth den and disarming the traps, did that feel a little bit like Fallout to you? Where you can sneak up on the grenade
Very
traps and
similar.
disarm them? Yeah.
Very similar.
And then you fight the two mutants inside.
Even kind of with the sort of building, if you will. I don't know if it even was a building or the wreckage or whatever it was that he goes into for the final
Oh yeah, I was gonna
showdown.
talk about that. I
That
don't
that
know.
was almost like the ruins that you walk into in the places that you find, like for instance, the Brotherhood of Steel. And
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of too. It was like this. I don't know if it was like a crypt of some sort or what it was, but it was a very cool set, and all the crazy imagery going on in there, and the dark ass piles
yeah,
of bloody clothing, and it was a very uneasy feeling.
yeah, whoever the set designer is on this is absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a literal walking into the heart of darkness, right? He literally walks into the heart of darkness, and there's that little light above, and I thought that was very cinematically done.
Mm.
And then the boss fight goes down, if you
The
will,
boss fight.
which was pretty satisfying too. I thought it was short and sweet, but
And like, I mean, no, you know, you stab it in real life. If some crazy fucking nut job just came up and stabbed a detective, he would just get blasted, and that's that.
hmm no, you can't fuck with cops as soon as you
But
as soon as you go on the aggression on cops. They can pretty much just lie and say stop resisting, boom, shot in the head. Yeah. And this crazy, I don't even know the dude's name. We'll just call him the lawnmower man, I think.
he gets shot like 6 times, or yeah, because doesn't Woody had a Woody Harrelson's character, I
Woody
believe,
pops him
is
a
out of
couple
bullets. I'm
times,
pretty sure
yeah.
he shoots him 6 times
Yeah. And he's still
with
not
hollow, and he
enough.
even says he had hollow points.
Yep. And
I don't give a shit who you are. You're not taking 6 hollow points to the body and just
That's what-
running at somebody.
that's why I say he's the boss fight, because then he turns around with his tomahawk and just boom.
It's a ball peen hammer, I believe, that he throws at him.
Oh, I thought it stuck in him, whatever it was, but
Yeah, no, it did. I think it was the backside of the ball peen hammer.
okay, I see. Yeah, pretty grisly ass murder to say the least. Well, murder. He was a murderer.
Ball peen hammer, is that what it's called?
Yeah,
The one with the little circle on the end.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
the Hell's Angels like to use.
Like one of those is what I'm pretty sure he had.
He had a knife in the other
Yeah,
hand. He was
with
dual.
McConaughey, he had like a little hatchet.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and he also kills the dog. Too. Man, that's a tense ass sequence. As soon as they go to this, basically the final showdown of the series, it
Yeah.
was a very well done scene, I thought, or sequence, whatever you want to call it. The last half of the episode. I like good finales, and that felt like a good finale, even though you didn't get to explore the cult a little more, which is, hey, beggars can't be choosers.
Well, it sounds morbid, but I'm a little disappointed that like one of them didn't die or something.
Well,
Just to add a little more to it.
I mean, given the nature of the show and how dark it was.
Well, and I mean, Matthew McConaughey got stabbed in the gut, lifted up off the ground by the knife.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you're not coming back from that.
And shit. No, he should have been killed, but Woody Harrelson's character does comment on it though, by saying it occurs to me that you're pretty much unfucking killable, which I thought was a great line.
Yeah.
I love it when they point out things like that in shows, just like, oh, you're a superhero, clearly, you got lucky. Feeling lucky, punk. Because McConaughey lived a hard-ass lifestyle. I can only imagine what his character was like when he was undercover before.
Yeah, I wish they would just shown stuff more into that actually too.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
that'd be a sweet series too if you.
Yeah, I could have gone for say
McConaughey.
16 episodes over 8.
Yeah.
You know, say for instance the biker episode, maybe have an episode or even 2 where it's showing how he got connected with these guys back in the day, what the shit he did with them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if that's just because it's brand new and they didn't want to.
Well, a lot of shows seem to be doing it. Even shows that aren't mini-series seem to be doing very small episodes. I mean, even something like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. South Park went down to 10 episodes.
Yeah, people like to do quality over quantity now, I guess, which I'm okay for. Like, I would have liked more
I feel like this
episodes
could have
too,
been a
but-
little stretched out more, especially if you did, like you said, include more of the sort of occult situation with the family or even the shit that they were doing. If you had more of that, and then maybe a little bit more of his background.
Yeah, it's just because I'm curious to what this fucking satanic orgy of backwoods motherfuckers was all about. Call me morbid, but yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about? We already talked about camera work and cinematography a little bit, but it's shot like a movie. This is movie quality stuff. HBO doesn't fuck around. I don't know. It was all directed by one dude, which I think is very rare for television. Most of the time they get a few different directors to do different episodes. All one guy handle all 8 episodes. That's crazy.
Yeah, one of the only guys who I've seen do a large portion of shows that are on today that are widely popular is someone like Ernest Dickerson, who is featured on both Walking Dead and Dexter, which is now done.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's why, like I was saying earlier, I think this is just yet another, and probably the best of, but yet another one of these just amazing shows that's come out past the 2000s since The Shield, on to now, where you got even stuff that's kind of goofy and kind of stupid to watch, like True Blood, is still better than shows that they had back in the day.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah.
you got
Even
you
with
got you got
comedy.
shows like True
Yeah.
Blood, or sorry, True Detective. You got Breaking Bad. You had The Shield. You got The Wire. You know what I mean? This just seems like it's that curve where it's getting a little bit better again.
I think it started, I guess for me anyways, it started with Oz and The Sopranos when I first
Mm.
discovered that. I'm like, oh, TV can be this good? I didn't know TV came like this.
Yeah,
But
Oz too. I didn't even think of Oz. Sorry.
yeah, I was just because my dad showed me Oz at a young age because he's irresponsible. But I thank God he did because I'm a film nerd now. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, even with comedies, they're taking more chances
Yeah,
on
Toy Sunny
television
in
now.
Philadelphia,
Always Sunny,
30 Rock,
30
Parks and
Rock,
Recreation.
Arrested Development, Shameless, which you just
Yeah,
started watching.
yeah, which
Um,
is hilarious.
we should do an episode on Shameless sometime because it is hilarious. Anywho, it's a good time to be a fan of TV. Even the internet exclusives like
Well, you're seeing a lot more of these high caliber actors going to TV, and even someone, for instance, like Kevin Spacey doing,
hmm
which turned out to be fantastic, House of Cards.
oh yeah.
That's a huge risk for an actor to take doing a Netflix original series like that.
Yeah, to Netflix. I mean,
Yeah.
with a name like Netflix.
Mind you, I mean, I'm sure you read the script and was like, "This is going to be huge."
hmm Well, Netflix came in after the part. Yeah, it was David Fincher and a few other guys who put it together, and Kevin Spacey came on. And same with this. This is all written and composed by one guy, Nick. I can't pronounce his
Yeah,
last
no,
name.
it's some Italian last
Pizzolatto or
like,
something like that.
yeah,
The equivalent of the Breaking Bad dude, the showrunner, if you will. He
yeah.
writes it all. He's the bottom line, and it's all directed by the same dude. So it's like one vision throughout the
Maybe
whole.
that's what's making it better is the fact that people didn't do that before.
I think that is what makes this series better, is because it's two people controlling, two
Yeah,
people at the head of this project all
entire
the way
flow.
through. Yeah, it's like with Frank Darabont in The Walking Dead. They had
Yeah,
differences, and they fired his ass, and made me really sad because the show didn't wasn't
hasn't been the same.
show's never been as good as it was in the first season, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
no,
that's
not even close.
another story.
But that's what I
um,
mean. I think this one is going to rank atop higher than shows like that. Even if shows like that continue for, you know, 6, 7 seasons, whatnot, what have you.
mhm.
This in its first season to me is still better than the majority of those shows.
Yeah, I definitely put this.
Even with the changing sort of format
Yeah.
where it's going to be different guys each season.
Mhm.
If they do get renewed, like you said, it hasn't been official. So
Well, here's a fun fact about the likelihood of them getting renewed. HBO's Go service, which is like their on-demand thing, I think
yeah,
it's like $8 a month, same as Netflix or some shit, and you can watch all HBO shows. I guess it crashed when the final episode of True Detective went up.
oh wow,
Yeah, like this product put out by HBO crashed because so many people were trying to watch it at the same time.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's likely you're gonna see another season out of this guy. I've
But
already heard.
even something like Bates Motel, which just came back as well.
Is it Vince Gilligan who did Breaking Bad? Is that his
Yes.
name? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of comparisons already to him. He's just like, oh, this guy's like Vince Gilligan. He's gonna make the next Breaking Bad. I'm
Well,
like,
see, that's the difference. It's not that sort of show. It's going
it's
to
a
be
different show completely.
yeah. It's going to be a different
It's
people
gonna
each
have
time.
more in common with fucking.
I will be worried if it
I
goes
don't
on
know.
for a longer time though, because I don't want it to become an American Horror Story where it's just kind of, especially if you had the same actors coming back for different roles, that would just be stupid.
No, I
But
think they should get another two high caliber actors or actresses and make another creepy ass detective story. I'm down. It's you could literally use the same formula used on this season, just with
yeah,
like a
you could
whole.
do, and you could even do different types of detective stories. You could do,
hmm
different
yeah,
sorts of
hell yeah.
situations, to drugs to racial
Drugs to
situations to
serial
whatnot, what have
killers.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gangs, mobs, biker gangs, shit like that. There's sick shit all over, especially in the South United States. Kidding, love you guys, you good people. Um, yeah, I don't know what else do you want to say about True Detective. It just makes me so damn happy that HBO exists.
Yep.
That's all I gotta say. HBO. If I could meet the CEO of HBO, I'd give him a big hug. That's what I'd do. Big old hug. Maybe buy him a coffee because he deserves it.
Yeah, no, it's I would say it's definitely a must-watch on as far as television goes. If you haven't actually been watching the show, do like we did and go and binge watch it.
Yeah,
Binge watch. There's nothing wrong with binge watching as long as you do it properly.
you do
And
it
it's only
properly.
8 episodes, so
Yeah, I mean, only 8 hours. It's only 8 hours of True Detective. It's
I'm
one.
used to blasting through 4 seasons of something. Like fuck.
Oh yeah, man, I'll do. That's binge watching is the way to go. Cable, I think cable is a dead format personally. Like the whole, typical cable channel, satellite packages, whatever you want to call it. That is a dead format as far as
Sorry,
I'm
the
concerned.
tits of an angel just came onto my TV.
By
I'm
the
at that. I have it on in the
tits.
background.
Would you like to record like an acoustic cover of like Arms of an Angel, but Tits of an Angel instead?
Even that. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't think so. I don't
Are
know.
you
I'm
sure that'd
distracted.
get views on YouTube, man? By the tits of an angel. Alright, I'm done. What do you think about one thing we haven't touched on? What do you think about the opening little sequence? Most people don't think about shit like that after a few episodes, but the opening little title sequence kind of thing.
Compared to some of the other shows, I don't think it's bad. That's another thing I've thought has been getting more and more innovative and kind of cooler.
It's the
Is
opening?
the opening sort of
I agree.
credit rolls. Like the True Blood one's really cool.
Hmm.
The American Horror Story
I
one's
always
really
thought
cool.
Dexter's was one of the coolest.
Dexter's is the coolest. Yeah, so definitely. Justified is
Hmm.
pretty neat.
Hell, the Sopranos one. I still, if I go back and catch an episode of Sopranos, still watch that shit. It's just a
Yeah,
dude driving. But yeah, True Detectives is great. And
the one.
it's
Yeah,
very,
I thought it
very
was very
creepy and very
strange.
odd.
It's very strange how it dealt with the kind of the. I don't know if he's schizophrenic or with Matthew McConaughey's sort of disorder where he sees these colors and tastes
Mm.
colors and all that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a heightened sense, if it's schizophrenia, if it's like a history of drug use. I'm not sure what it
Yeah.
is. That's probably a little bit of all of those, to be honest. But
Well, he says what I have won't go away, and like you can't cure it. So I think it's some sort of, you know,
mm,
he gets these hallucinations.
yeah, he sees things, But most important thing, he knows what's real and what's not. So
Yeah,
hallucinations are okay as long as you can decipher. Yeah. I don't know. Don't really know what else to say about this. This is must-watch television. I'd put it in my top 5 TV shows ever, and it's only
easily.
had one. It's only had one. I'd put it up with the likes of Sopranos. Personally, House of Cards. Anyways, Breaking Bad. These high-caliber TV shows. Uh, I approve. I'd give it a 9 out of 10 if I had to
I'd give
over.
it. Yeah,
I'd
I'd give it a 9.5.
actually, yeah, I would give it a 9 as well, a 9.5 as well, because I'm trying to think of what makes it less than perfect, and it's like very few things.
Very, very little.
Yeah, very few things I would have improved upon if I had the chance. Where unfortunately, like shows, and that's why I like how small it is to harpen back to that point. Shows like Breaking Bad or Walking Dead or a lot of these longer, cool ass shows, if
They
you will.
start to kind of fall
They
off. I mean,
start to run into problems story wise, but yeah, if you make it
it's
short
gonna
and
happen.
self-contained, it is the nature of television, right? It's not every show can just be on for
No.
25 seasons and still be fresh. Simpsons did it. Simpsons haven't done this fucking story, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9.5 out of 10. Must watch television. HBO, you are the king. I bow down before you. Yeah, give me a
Keep it
job.
up.
Yes, give me a job reviewing your shit. I will be infinitely happy. Yeah, anything else?
No, I think they pretty much covered it.
Yeah, thanks for watching another random review by Jacoke Baby Games and Big Nasty Productions. Links to our channels and whatnot in the links below. Check it out. Of course, Odd Couple. Go watch that shit. It's fucking genius.
I'm Batman.
He's Batman. Yeah, and stay tuned for another review of something coming in the next couple weeks, I'm sure.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, maybe Old Boy or something. Or let us know in the comments below.